Well, good evening, and welcome to another edition of Right Turn Garage TV. There's a new windshield we got ordered, but before we get that in there, we got some other things to worry about. See all this rust, all this nastiness around in here, all this parts of the seal that still exist? We're going to hit the delete button on that and get rid of it. So, first things first, I'm going to take a razor blade and scrape off all that extra. This stuff is super sticky. Look, I'm still rocking the old, what is that on your hands from last week. That's not even a joke. So, we're going to get some gloves. We're going to scrape all that off with a razor, and then we're going to start removing even stuff up here. Okay, I may have already started with one of them's, and I chose one of them's because see how it doesn't reach all the way over? It fits perfectly right in there. That way, so I don't have to worry about it gouging all this plastic up. And I don't know if you saw it or not, but yeah, my car looks like a homeless person wrapped up in a blankie. Note 27. Before you buy interior, do all this stuff so you don't like get it dirty. You know, because then you have to do all this extra, and it's just, you know, I'm just saying. But anyway, we're going to scrape all this stuff off first with a nice gasket scraper, and then we are going to simply use the old wire wheel to get the rest of it, and hopefully that's got it good enough. But we're going to check right up in here-ish too. Any part that's bubbly, see all that nastiness, just, we're going to hope and pray that that's just, you know, surface stuff and rust. That way so we can knock it all down to bare metal. Doesn't matter. And then we're going to hit it with a little black magic. We call it DuPont or Rust-Oleum, you know, wherever you're from. Rust-Oleum will work. But in here, we're actually going to use what they call, you guessed it, Pour 15. And the reason why is this is going to be exposed to a lot more elements than what this will, because this is not going to be painted with a commercial paint, so to speak. And what I mean is an outside layer of paint like your regular car. Because very rarely do people, I mean, very, very rarely. That one over there, the old gold chariot, it probably, okay, it will have 100% body paint here, but that one's going to be a strip down to absolutely nothing and put it back together car. This one, it's kind of like a drive, restore kind of, you know what I mean? Make it gooder and then put it back on the street. But nonetheless, whenever we put the Rust-Oleum down in this track, it absolutely will help save on that. So we're going to do exactly what I told you. I'll show you what it turns out to be, and we'll see if we run into any, oh my God, we can't go on nastiness without welding. I don't think we are. I hope we're not. So just wish me luck, and go to the Freights of Harbor and get you some of those. I think even, I know O'Reilly's has them, and the AutoZone, stuff like that. They have like a multi-set, 3-piece set, something like that of them. Pick you up a set, you're going to need them. Unless you use, and I almost used these. I haven't yet. I did charge up the air tank. These little suckers. And we may just end up trying them just for gigs. Because this is all about saving time too. Because I've worked all day. I'm sure you guys have worked all day. You really don't want to spend all evening / night, morning cleaning up that crap, right? So give me a few minutes and I'll tell you which one works the best. All right? A few minutes. So I haven't been crying. Apparently my nose and all this does not like dust and or pollen and or both mixed. Dude, I can barely breathe. I end up using 3 different things. Of course, we went to the upper scale for the very last to clean all this up. For the paint itself, I used this little burger, but I put the little grinder blue thing on it, and it really took it down. I mean, to the point of that's where we need it. And then just for gigs, I put on 80 grit and I just massaged it a little. Now, for this next step that I'm going to do, you don't need any kind of special tools to put it on, which is good. With the exception of one thing. I'm shutting off my compressor because it may kick on and it's like, maybe not. Yeah, it really messed my nose up, dang it. So the next thing I'm gonna put on is Pour 15. If you don't know what it is, get to know it. It's good stuff. You absolutely, positively want to use gloves with this stuff. It is absolutely beautiful stuff. You can paint it directly over rust, is what it says, and it does magic and make it metal again. So we're painting down in here. We're painting all this channel, all of it, with Pour 15. And the reason why, this is the toughest stuff on the market that I'm aware of that you can buy. Does it matter that it's gloss black? No, it doesn't matter. I just happen to get that because that's what this car's whole underneath is Pour 15 gloss. Why? Because it looks amazing. And I like to party. You knew that was coming though, didn't you? So we're gonna take a regular paintbrush, put this on with gloves, and put a nice coat all the way around. And then we're gonna let that set up. And now that we have all of this down to at least this area right here, we feel a lot more gooder about it. There's no holes. That was my main concern, was to make sure there was no holes. There was absolutely, positively no holes. So, that being said, whenever the Pour 15 dries and all that good stuff, we'll be good to go to throw the windshield in. And we can actually make this gooder again whenever we start the body work, which is going to be promptly right after we do the windshield. So don't forget the bottom of the windshield. Even though 97% of your work is going to be around the top, you still need to scrape that bottom. Sorry guys, that thing, that dust is, maybe I should have worn one of them Protect the World masks or whatever. Probably should have. I have black boogies now. Because, you know, the paint and it's black paint and it's just going to make me go in nastiness. But I'm going to show you what this Pour 15 does, how it looks, and you don't need much. This stuff goes a country mile. I ain't even kidding you. So I'm going to have to find my brushes wherever I put those. But you just give a little dab and away you go. I'm putting on gloves because last time it took like 3 weeks for that crap to wear off. So only special tool you need is screwdriver and a paintbrush. That's it. And then just don't slop it around everywhere like on the body paint, because you might have a better chance of seeing Jesus than getting that stuff off of there. I'm telling you, it is tough stuff. So give me a few minutes. We're gonna go ahead and paint in here. Then I'll show you what it looks like. All right? Just give me a few minutes. Probably at least 12 minutes to find a brush. All right? Yeah. Well, we did exactly what I said. We painted with a paintbrush, regular paintbrush, all the way around. And we got on the inside lip as well, because that right there is going to save us from any further rot. For right now, until I can get to the body work, I may just go ahead and spray paint this to keep even surface rust from popping back up. Somebody may be thinking, why clean that good? I mean, it's got sealer. It's going to seal, right? Well, maybe yes, maybe no. You see, down the road, these old cars, if this was neglected and not done this way, it would rot out the frame of the windshield. You know, the second gens, third gens, first gens, I mean, honestly, any of these cars, you know, they didn't make a whole lot of. And the older they get, the more rare they get. So, somebody commented earlier, they're getting ready to 5-speed swap their 92 Camaro. I think that's awesome. So hopefully the videos I did help you as well. But I think to do this and do it right is way better than to, you know what? I probably won't even have the car in 5 years and pass it off. We got it right here. We're doing the restoration. Not a full, but I mean a pretty daggone extensive one. We're not pulling the motor. That's really about it. I mean, we've done the drivetrain as far as the rear diff. You know, we rebuilt it. We painted it and put new lines on it. We didn't really rebuild it. I'm just saying. But we put new lines and all that stuff on it. We've painted the whole underneath of this car with Pour 15. We've knocked it all rust free. We've done the patch panels. Everything up to this point, we've done what I believe is the correct way. And it's been somewhat on a budget. I mean, did we paint this with an actual paint gun? No. I mean, maybe that's the more correct way. I'm not even sure. But to me, I think this is a better alternative just because Pour 15 is actually, I mean, this is what it's made for. It's made for actually protecting raw bare metal. I mean, paint was here before in the 80s, right? You saw how rusty and crusty it was. Hopefully, this has another 30, 40 years to the life of this car. At least on the windshield wise. Underneath the car, what have you. I'm a big fan of that stuff. So if you got a project, that dust is still killing me. Oh my goodness. And you got some rust repair and all that good stuff to do. Knock off the crusty stuff, paint over some Pour 15, and I'm telling you, send it. It's going to be good because that's exactly what we did to this frame in this car, the underbody, the floor pans, all of it. We repaired underneath that seat, remember? Over there. Yeah, over there. We repaired underneath that seat. We Pour 15'd it, we body seamed it. Body seamed it, is that what it's called? The body sealer stuff, you know, that makes things look magical, like they was not touched. And, you know, it's going to be good for a lot of years to come. And that's the way I believe in doing it. So I would absolutely recommend anywhere where you have any rust whatsoever around this windshield, make sure you get on that inside channel. That's just as important as this right here, because it's all going to be exposed to the elements. Hopefully, this car is almost done being exposed to the elements, so to speak. And what I mean is the harsh winters, you know, stuff like that, the big old climate changes. Hopefully, I can get all this stuff put up and have more room. But that's for another day, friends. So we're going to let this stuff set up overnight. And the very next episode, hopefully we're installing this big bad machine in the mullet machine. We'll be installing it in here, sealing it up, and hopefully everything goes good. We're really hoping. So that being said, guys, I hope this helps some of you. If you're debating on whether to take your windshield out, windshield not, do a little bit of a budget analysis. Is the windshield leaking? This one actually was not. It actually was sealed up very good. I only did it because I have a little more wiggle room in the budget for this car, and I want it done correctly. All that rust around the windshield and all that, I don't want to have to worry if there was any holes in it. That's why I knocked all of the heavy rust. That's why I even pulled the windshield, because some of this rust that was like right in here, I was worried about right here, and there was a few spots on the other side. If it has holes in it, you're probably pulling that windshield so you can weld and not crack the windshield by heat or adding metal or what have you, unless you're really freaking good, which if you are, by all means, go for it. Me, I just didn't want to take that unnecessary risk. But that's how I did it. Hopefully it helps one of you guys. Join me here next. We'll be installing the windshield. I don't know if Tater's going to help or not. I don't know if I can manhandle this sucker. I mean, it is a convertible, so that is a plus. So cover your seats, roll up your windows, whatever you got to do, because that crap got everywhere. Look at this. It just, it's not good. And those are cheap old Harbinese Freight moving blankets, so they work great for that. Anyway, guys, sorry about the sniffles. This dust it hates me. But join us here on the next one. We'll be putting in the windshield in the old mullet machine. Then we get started on body work, my favorite. But we are going to use a stud gun, which I'm pretty excited about. But anyway, enough of that. We'll see you next time here on Right Turn Garage TV. And if you don't mind, just a little, if just down there in the bottom somewhere, hit that old subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. Like button, leave me a comment. I appreciate all of it. And hopefully this is helping some of you guys. If you have questions, hit me up on the Faceplace. My name is Right Turn Garage on there. Go figure. So, or on here. It doesn't matter. I want to thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time on Right Turn Garage TV.